Hey, what's up everyone? Sam here. So in this list I'm going to be showing you 5 reasons China won't be the world's next superpower. Number 5. Pollution. Everyone knows that China has a serious pollution problem. In fact, it's estimated just breathing the air of one of the most polluted cities is the equivalent of smoking 40 cigarettes a day. It's also estimated that around 1.6 million people die every year due to air pollution. That's over 4,000 people a day. To put that in perspective, here in the UK around 1,700 people die per year due to road traffic accidents. China more than doubles that figure per day just due to pollution. Their pollution problem started due to the rapid industrialization the country has had in the last 50 years. However, they didn't think about the environmental effects it could have and just went full throttle in becoming an industrialized nation. These effects are now being felt more than ever before. If China wants to become the next superpower, they have to figure out a way to reduce their pollution as it's massively impacting their people's health. Number 4. Overpopulation. China is the most populated country in the world. Their population stands at around 1.3 billion people, meaning around 20% of the world's population lives in China. Now, their mass population do give them some benefits. For example, they have no shortage of workers or people for their military. However, what it is doing is placing an enormous strain on their natural resources. As China's economy has grown, people's living standards have risen too. This means demand for resources are higher than ever before. Policies such as their one-child per couple policy helped slow down their population growth, but that policy ended in 2016, meaning Chinese couples can now have more than one child. This has had a knock-on effect on their demographics. China is lacking in young people compared to other countries. It's estimated by 2050, 44% of its population will be retired. This is an issue, as while they do have a lot of people, a large chunk of their population won't be much use when it comes to the country's development. Number 3. Wealth distribution. While the average living standards in China have risen massively, there's still a large poverty problem. There are some incredibly rich people in China. For example, they have about 1.3 million people who are millionaires. However, this wealth isn't distributed as well as some other countries. The United States, for example, has a population of around 323 million people. Of those 323 million people, 15.7 million people are millionaires. While yes, there are some very poor people in the US, the overall spread of wealth is still better than in China. Millions of people in China are still living without electricity or clean water. This is something they have to change if they want to become the next superpower. Number 2. Emigration. Chinese people are free to move to another country. However, the problem with this is that moving abroad requires some money. Therefore, the poor remain, and the only people who do leave generally have money. It's estimated about 50% of the wealthiest citizens of China are considering moving abroad for a better life. China is facing a large problem here. They need to make sure their wealthy citizens remain in China. However, their wealthy people see their country's pollution, overcrowding and restrictions to personal freedoms as good reason to move abroad. When they do leave, they take their wealth with them, meaning a loss in tax revenue and investments within the country. This is referred to as wealth drain. China have to tackle some of the important issues to make their people want to stay, otherwise more and more wealthy people will leave. Number 1. State-owned enterprises. Private industry is very important for a country's growth. The competition itself from private industries lead to innovation. If a large chunk of a country's industry is state-owned, progress is massively held back. For example, say the US government owned the largest smartphone manufacturer in the US. They could squash any competition through corruption and essentially force citizens to use their product. However, their product may not be good at all. This holds back the whole industry, and that's why state-owned industry is not always a good thing. A whopping 50% of the total industry in China is state-controlled. This works out to be around 30% of China's total assets. Not only can this hold back innovation, but it creates a lack of true opportunity for its people. Sure, there's jobs, but it's going to be a lot harder for China to produce the Mark Zuckerbergs and Bill Gateses. Thank you for watching. To subscribe, click over here. To watch another awesome videos, and click down here. Do make sure to turn on channel notifications and follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Snapchat. All details are on screen and in the description below. Once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, feed your mind.